Imagine a desert where the heat doesn't just burn your skin, but warps the very fabric of reality, leaving you stranded in a landscape that exists somewhere between Earth and a nightmare. You are misplaced, a survivor thrust into the Valley of Fire not by choice, but by a cosmic glitch that has dropped you into a world where the laws of physics are merely suggestions. But when you discover that being misplaced isn't an accident, but a test designed to filter out the weak from those capable of reshaping this broken dimension, you realize that survival isn't about finding a way home. It's about mastering the chaos well enough to build a new one. Welcome to Misplaced, the first pulse-pounding, atmospheric, and deeply strategic installment in John Van Stry's Valley of Fire series. If you love dimensional survival tropes, surreal horror, and stories that explore the sheer, unadulterated thrill of watching a protagonist tame a hostile reality through grit, ingenuity, and superior tactics, this audiobook will completely consume you. It is a masterclass in speculative fiction, blending the visceral crunch of tactical combat with the profound weight of existential adaptation. The narrative kicks off with our protagonist's abrupt arrival in the scorching valley, thrusting them into a race against time to secure shelter before the environment itself turns predatory. The atmosphere is thick with the shimmer of heat haze and ozone, the static of fractured dimensions, and the creeping dread of knowing that every decision could branch into a timeline where they are erased from existence. Van Stry excels at capturing the psychological toll of displacement, making every tactical maneuver, every resource allocation, and every narrow escape feel like a high-stakes gamble, where the price of failure is not just death, but total ontological collapse. At the core of the book's massive appeal is its spectacular dimensional survival trope and the brilliant asymmetric warfare dynamic. This isn't just about fighting monsters, it's about understanding the hidden rules of a broken world, managing impossible resources, and using human ingenuity to outsmart enemies who rely on brute force and dimensional superiority. Watching the protagonist reverse engineer enemy strategies, craft overpowered gear from reality shards, and completely shock arrogant entities with unconventional, trap-heavy tactics is incredibly satisfying. The audiobook narration brings the visceral impact of the combat and the satisfying, chiming ding of a massive level up to life, making every milestone feel like a hard-earned victory. But beyond the stats and the slaughter, the soul of Valley of Fire lies in its characters and the heavy burden of identity. The protagonist isn't just a cold, calculating gamer. They are a deeply human individual struggling to maintain their sense of self in a system that views them as an anomaly. They quickly form bonds with a beautifully dysfunctional found family of fellow displaced souls who help them navigate the treacherous waters of this new social order. The banter is razor sharp, providing much-needed levity as their squad watches them casually calculate the damage output of a coordinated strike. Their unbreakable trust provides the emotional grounding needed when the world starts throwing literal reality-ending threats their way. As the plot accelerates towards its climax, the pacing becomes utterly breathless. A major dimensional rift or a rival faction's assault forces the protagonist to push their abilities to their absolute limits. The finale is a spectacular display of tactical brilliance, overwhelming magical firepower, and raw, unbridled ingenuity. The protagonist doesn't just survive the assault, they completely shatter the local power scaling, using a ridiculous, highly technical combination of skills and crafting to turn the enemy's ultimate attack into a mere stepping stone. The payoff is spectacular, delivering a massive dopamine-fueled victory that proves the most dangerous class in the system isn't the one with the biggest sword, it's the one who understands the rules better than anyone else. Misplaced is a triumph of the LitRPG and fantasy genres. It is smart, action-packed, and unapologetically addictive. John Van Stry has crafted a debut that perfectly captures the thrill of breaking the apocalypse with a stat sheet and a strategy guide. Plug in your headphones, check your stats, and join the climber. The system is live, but his future is bright.